I embarrassed myself at work quite horribly. So today I'm just going to talk about what happened, how one person called me out on my mistakes several times, and another person just up and quit. So we will get there in just a bit. I want to have an update for you because it's been 4 months since I did my last video. And I started out thinking, oh my goodness, it shouldn't have been like that. I had a rhythm doing 3 a week or like video every other day. It was perfect. Well, I shouldn't have fallen off. And I caught myself in that moment and I said, that's okay. We're not doing blame games. It's fine. Life happens. We fall off. Instead of spending the time and energy focusing on what happened in the past, what I did, just starting now. So I said, okay, I'm going to pull up my phone and just get started. It's been so long because, of course, life of an entrepreneur, right? You're following the journey of an entrepreneur. It's crazy being an entrepreneur, a new entrepreneur, a woman, female entrepreneur. It's crazy. And then, as you can sort of see, I have a new place, and that was a whole crazy journey all on its own because I actually couldn't find a place, and I was going to live in my car, and that's a story I would love to share another day. Today, I just want to jump right back on the horse and just do a daily vlog of what entrepreneurs, business owners face day to day. And I actually have an interesting story to share today. So I'm going to share that story and share some of the strategies I use to cope with that personally, and perhaps that's something that might help you. And I would love to hear in your comments below what are some of the strategies that you use. Okay, so here's what happened. There was a team at Seattle. There's mosquitoes here. Goodness. There's a team at Seattle University that they're a business law school team of two people, and they are helping one of my businesses, Defense Ninjas, with um, market analysis and pricing strategy. And they're also doing an operating agreement. So it was the final meeting today. And through the process, I just realized I kind of knew in the beginning. I talked to my business partner and said, I'm not really sure an academic person can help with this because we have to keep up with the trends and, follow entrepreneurs. Like today, things they're doing today, how to grow your business, it's different than doing, some of those traditional written documents that they would help with us with. And she had a different opinion, so we said, okay, let's see how it goes. And I have my final document today, and it was one paragraph that said, just keep doing what you're doing, and you have these two locations that you're teaching, so just try to grow those. Like it's like very generic, stuff. And then they said, well, we can ask you questions, we can't give you answers. And well, I have the questions, right? So it's different. It's very different when you hire an agency, right, to do this. Anyway, part of the process, while they were working on this, I was initially pretty responsive, helping with sending a lot of information, and then it was just a burnout because it wasn't adding value, and my life was just in turmoil. I had a lot going on, and I just dropped the ball. So they were still reaching out saying, oh, we need more information. We need this and we need that and we need, like some other things for operating agreement. We need all the list of operations that you're doing and this other person's doing. And I sent a pretty short email saying, oh, this, and just create a general agreement, a template that we can use and then fill things in. And I kind of left it at that. And after that, I just said that and it was over. I was hard to reach. And so my business partner, I believe in that process, she called me and I wasn't available and I meant to call her back and it didn't happen. And then, I saw that there were email threads. They were talking back and forth. There was information and, things seemed okay. So I said, okay, that's okay. I took a long time. I responded. It was short. They didn't want that. And I dropped the ball and, the person who was working picked it up. It was okay. And so when I show up today, I just kind of said, hey, I apologize. I got really busy and I couldn't keep in touch as much as I would have liked to in the last, it was a year. I think we were working with them from January through now, and it's May right now. And I think I kind of didn't have any communication in the entire month of April. And yeah, so about a little over 5 weeks. And so I show up at this final meeting one of the person explains, and she was explaining the document they had, and like, yes, we did, we created this operating agreement for you. It's more than just a template, and well, it's better than a blank template, which is what you gave us. And I was really surprised. I mean, she just said that out. It was four of us in the meeting. She looked at me and she said, well, it's better than blank, which is what you provided. I was like, oh, wow, okay, well, good for her for being bold about it. And then she kind of brought that up multiple times, like 3 times from what I can remember. Just saying, yeah, well, at least it's something. Well, we got blank, right? And you want to make sure when you go, you don't have a blank sheet. And that came up so many times. Like, there was so much anger around it and resentment around it. And the other person who was also helping Ciali, she was just quiet and sitting in a corner, and she just looked really pissed. And, it's Ramadan right now. Woot woot. Or not really, long days, fasting, part of the reason why I fell off. And it almost looked like she was fasting because she was tired. I mean, and I knew she wasn't. Anyway, and we finished wrap up this conversation. So I was embarrassed already in the meeting several times. And then when I get up, I've been trying to let go of my partner for a couple months now because of one incident that happened where she publicly mentioned on Facebook that, hey, Fawzia, I think this is insulting, and people are going to think this and that. And I messaged her and I said, hey, it's a good point. I can phrase this differently. So can we have this conversation privately next time? And then she replies to my text and says, oh, Fawzia, you don't get it. I needed to say that publicly, which I didn't understand. And, it was a busy time. It didn't matter. At that point, I said, I am not going to work with a person like that. I mean, we forget about not being on the same page on like a business. This is entirely unacceptable. So there was no point in a conversation anyway. So I had already made up my mind, and it hadn't, and that was the last straw. Really, it wasn't the first one because there were a lot of other things that hadn't been working for a while. So, gosh, can you see that mosquito in the video? I'm going to shoot this video indoors next time. Who cares about the pretty outdoors? I'm sure we can see this from indoors. So then when we left, I just wanted to have that conversation that, okay, seems like this is the last checkpoint before summer camp, and she really wanted to do summer camp. And then after that, we're just going to part ways, and I can probably delete your email address now, or if you want, I can keep it for, until a couple more months. And so I stepped out and I said, okay, yeah, seems like this is a checkpoint. This is the last thing we're going to do until summer camp. And she just says, no, I'm done. I'm exiting. I'm leaving. And so I said, okay, so you don't want to do summer camp. And I was still talking just to wrap things up. And she was turned away and she was walking and just walking away from me at an intersection in a busy street, and saying, no, I'm done. I mean, you can figure it out. I don't know. And, it's all up to you. And she was walking away while just saying, I'm done. I'm moving on to other things. It was so embarrassing. I mean, I was hoping we could just stand, have a conversation, and then part ways. You don't have to walk away and then say whatever, right? So it was super embarrassing for me, all of that. And I felt so bad. I was driving in my car and saying, oh my goodness, I feel terrible. And then I realized that there's nothing I can do about this. It's happened. It's in the past. And that quote that I live by every day whenever I feel just terrible, I think about Lao Tzu's quote, which is, if you're living in the past, you're depressed. If you're living in the future, if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. And if you're at peace, you're living in the present. Okay? So it's that kind of thing. Okay, thinking, am I feeling stressed? Am I feeling bad, depressed, sad? And I was feeling really that sadness. So it was about a past that just happened half hour ago. So I said, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. So, okay, it happened. And now let's focus on what to do. The information I have is actually not useful, which is fine. I already have a plan on what I'm going to do, so it's all good. And that's one of the things that helps me a lot, just to say, okay, where is this at? And how much power and control do I have to change that situation or the act? If I don't have any, then that's it. I just let go. If I do have some control and power, I will do what I have the ability to contribute in that situation. So that's one thing. And the second is, I heard this on emotional intelligence book, I believe, which is if you're feeling, not an emotional intelligence, it's one of those books where, they, I guess it's in the self-help section, I don't know. I just learned from a psychologist that you just need to let yourself feel bad. It's the constant trying to feel something else that makes us feel worse. So I said, okay, I feel terrible, so I'm just going to sit in this and just let me feel myself feel bad, have compassion for myself, and, just let myself feel bad for a little while being productive and doing other things, knowing that I have this and that, and I'm going to do these things. And, I get over that situation, that feeling that's not positive, a lot faster when I just let myself be. So those are the two things that really work for me. And I'm curious, when you're in a situation that's really embarrassing and just rehashing it, oh my God, it was embarrassing, I feel terrible, and why did this have to happen? What are some of the strategies you use? And in fact, kind of pulling back, besides those two things, one of the other things I do while I'm in that situation is nothing. Just acknowledging, oh, she said that. Okay, that person said that. Okay. Just I don't have to react to it. Just it's conversation. It's everything is information. So that was keeping my calm. That really helps while I'm in that situation. Just taking in information. That's it. And then after that, when I feel bad, I do those other things. So what do you do when you're caught up in a situation and somebody says something super embarrassing? What do you do in that moment? And then after that moment has passed, the second thing I would like to know, what do you do to get over that feeling of just embarrassment? I mean, maybe you talk to a couple people, just let it out that way and then let it go. Well, I do that too. So let me know below and we can just all share information and learn from each other and help our lives get better, entrepreneurial lives or otherwise get better. So this is it for today. I am committing to continuing my series regularly, whatever that means, and just bringing in all these crazy stories so we can learn and share, and you can see what it really takes to go from being a 9 to 5 worker to running your own business or doing something else or just how to tackle life. All right, I will see you next time. Have a great day. If you're new to this channel, you're welcome to check it out. Check my playlist, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to get notifications as soon as I post a video. So I'll see you next time. Bye.